explain regarding the background of the study. So, worldwide, there is more than 450 million people have mental disorder. Malaysians are also affected by this silent disease. In Malaysia, it has been proven that the growth of mental health among younger people between 16 years old until 23 years old is 29.2%. 1 in 3 Malaysians have the mental health problems, and most of them came from poor or low-income families. The statistics show that family support is also one of the influencers of mental health. In addition, COVID-19 and movement control order also triggered mental health problems in this year, especially for students. According to a study on claim to cause depression where it will bring to mental health issues, mentioned that studies performance, relationship, financial matters, personal health, campus life and family are the factors of depression, and it relates to students. Other factors also have connection to the family of students, so it is important to know what are the factors that could affect the student mental health, especially during this pandemic.
Past studies have shown that mental health issues among university students have risen both in numbers and severity, according to Han and Isabel 2010. The most common problems faced by university students are like mood disturbance, destructive habits, relationship problems, and self-concept disorder. And according to Mazmi, Mohammed, and Sapura 2004, Malaysian students are still facing with anxiety and stress, and this situation continues to occur in different ways at certain timing throughout the study process. Hereby, it showed that mental health issue among university students is a serious problem that needs to be studied for.
So the research objective in this study is to investigate the relationship between the family support and mental health.
So, we move to research question. How far does family support affect the mental health among students?
This study is significant because all students and their family face many challenges when the government impose online learning. But this is the only way to deliver education during pandemic COVID-19. This study can help a family to know their role to support their child, because at home the family is the primary support for the student. So the study about how to family can give their support to their children is significant, not only for the family but also for the government and the university. Government and university are the other parties that involved in rising mental health among students.
So what is family support? It is about identifying and responding to the needs of families, in particular during a time of difficulty.
Next, we move to the key term of mental health. Mental health actually is the condition where someone is emotionally disturbed. These include how the people think, behavior, and also feeling. Mental health is the problem that is faced by the people which involve the physiological, emotion, and also social well-being. It can be seen in how we perceive, act, and also respond. Besides, it helps to decide on how people cope with the tension, interact with others, and make decisions in all conditions. This actually can bring people to face depression. Not only that, it actually can lead to the suicide cases.
Malaysia was known as leading country in Asia-Pacific education. Despite this title, Malaysia did not escape from the serious issue that many countries have, which is poor mental health among their university students. Most of the countries reported that having poor mental health among their university students, depression, anxiety, and high stress were common issues that happen among students. The Malaysian student rate who suffer from mental health problem has been doubled in less than a decade, which is 10% in 2011, increased to 20% in 2016. Thus, 30% of Malaysian medical students reported having a high prevalence of stress that related to anxiety and depression. Heavy workload, financial difficulties, and family issues such as lack of support from family were the main issue that related to Malaysian student mental health problem, according to Ministry of Health.
Positive family relationships can be achieved with the start of parental involvement in childhood, where supportive parenting since childhood may lead to a variety of positive outcomes. There are varieties of ways of parental involvement, including family communication, financial and emotional support, family functioning, and family environment. People now believe that economic and emotional support are the common functions in families nowadays, and these functions bring children to success.
There is connection between mental health and family support, where without a family support, a student mental health could be low based on the previous study. The relationship between IV and DV also can be found in previous study, such as a college student cohesive flexible family functioning and mental health, examining gender differences and the mediation effect of positive family communication as self-compassion. By reviewing the previous study, we can conclude that family support have a relationship to student mental health.
Next is conceptual framework. The conceptual framework will investigate the relationship between the IV and DV. So, the figure show the conceptual framework between the family support and mental health among students. Next is research design. Research design is an essential process to carry out a research paper. It will provide an appropriate framework for a study that will explain the researcher's method or technique to obtain data. It consists of the purpose of study, type of investigation, research interference, study setting, unit of analysis, time horizon and population.
The purpose of the study is to examine the relationship between family support and mental health among university students. Our overall aim in this study is to investigate whether family support plays an important role in order to reduce stress among university students.
This study used causal approach as the type of investigation in which one variable causes a movement to another variable. This study measured the relationship between family support and mental health. If students receive high family support, then the mental health will be low. It showed that one variable is able to have a specific change to another variable.
Now I will continue regarding the research interference. In incorporating the research, we might interfere with the lack of our knowledge in this field, especially regarding mental health. The lack of sources in searching for information also is limited and could lead to non-significant findings and accurate information. Last but not least, interference with our object, which is the student, where it does not represent all the students around the world, since our respondent is among UTM KPM only.
For the study setting, this study is a non-constrained setting with field experiment. It is because non-constrained settings can be performed in natural environments, such as in this study, family support and mental health. Since this study is conducted to see the cause and effects of the relationship with the same natural environments and same amount of research interference, then it falls under field experiment.
The unit analysis in this research is student. This is because in the research we study the relationship between family support and also mental health among students. The type of time horizon that is used in this research is single cross-sectional design type. This is because the study is carried out only once and only one sample of respondent is used in this research. The survey is randomly chosen from business management student in University Teknologi Mara Campus Bandaraya Melaka. So as we can see here, this is the total number of business students in UiTM Bandaraya Melaka, which are 2010 students. We move to the sampling design. There are two types of sampling design, which are probability and also non-probability. For that, in this sample, we use the non-probability types. The types of non-probability is convenience. The convenience involves investigating certain aspects of the society that are readily visible to the investigator. This type of non-probability have their own advantage, which are samples are easily accessible. It also can make the data can be collected quickly. The quota are reached easily. The sample size can be determined based on the table constructed by Creechy and Morgan. According to the table, when the total population is 2010, the number of sample will be 322. The minimum number of respondents in this study are 30 because to make sure the variability and precision of the study.
The items in family support were adapted from previous study in which they used family adaptability and cohesion scale 4, phases 4, and only 12 questions were adapted to fit with the context of this study. We also use 7 scale-rated scale that has 7 different options for response so that respondent will able to answer the questions without feeling confused. This scale was also chosen because it is accurate, easy to use and has better reflections of the respondent through evaluation from the question.
Now, I will continue presenting the data collection of this research. In this study, we decided to use online questionnaire instead of distributing hard copy. This is because Malaysia still in MCO restriction and it is hard for us to get information via hard copy questionnaire. Besides that, the increase of technology research also another reason why we use online questionnaire. The online questionnaire is in Google Form where it divided into 2 parts, which is Part A and Part B. Part A consists of questions regarding the age, gender, program, part and family residence. For Part B, there are 24 questions where 12 for mental health and another 12 for family support. This questionnaire is using 7-point Likert scale instead of 5 since some respondents might somehow feel that the item feel less agree or less disagree. There are some advantages using this method such as to reach a unique respondent such as prisoner, consume less time and can cut off some expenses such as expenses for paper.
Next is data analysis plan. Data analysis plan is a roadmap for how the researcher organize and analyze their survey data. The data analysis plan's content is frequency analysis, descriptive analysis, reliability analysis, Pearson correlation analysis, and multiple regression analysis.
The table displays the gender of the respondents. More than half of the survey respondents are from male population and less than half are from the female population. Next, we move to the frequency of age. This table shows that the majority of the respondents are between 21 to 23 years old, with percentage 82.7%. The respondents are from different programs which are human resource, international business and also financial. The majority of the respondents from the international business student, which is 42 students, and also followed by financial student, then human resource students. Next, we move to the respondent part. The respondents come from Part 1 to Part 5 students. Most of the respondents come from Part 5, which is 33.3%.
The table shows the descriptive statistics for family support and mental health. It showed that family support has mean 5.4712 with standard deviation 1.01304. However, for mental health, the mean is 4.4342 with standard deviation 0.73583. It showed that here, family support has higher mean compared to mental health. Hereby, it showed that the respondents are mostly answered the items in the family support above 4, which represent that they agreed with the statements.
As far as we know, variable that has rate 0.6 combat alpha will indicates as an important variable. As for this study, the mental health, which is independent variable of this study, has a converge alpha 0.786, which is indicated as acceptable variable. Meanwhile, the independent variable, which is family support, has converge alpha of 0.963, which is indicated as excellent variable.
Next is Pearson correlation analysis. Pearson correlation analysis will determine the direction, strength and significance of the two variables. The correlation between family support and mental health among students is 0.419. So the relationship between two variables is positive, moderate, uphill, linear.
Now I will continue interpreting the data for the regression analysis. In order to get the relationship between the IV family support and DV mental health, an NLC correlation analysis was conducted to get the value of R square, ANOVA and the coefficient value. According to the table regression table analysis, R square value is 0.176, where it shows 70% of the variance in the DV mental health is explained by the IV family support. The remaining of the rest, which is 83%, is explained by the other factors that are possible to influence it. Next, in the table of ANOVA, the test value is 16.821%, where the value is above or more than 1. Since the value is more than 1, this shows that the IV family support is statistically significant to measure the DV mental health. Lastly, for the coefficient table, show the result that family support IV is significant toward mental health where the value is below 0.05, which is 0.00. As family support increases by 1 standard deviation, mental health also increases by 0.41 of a standard deviation.
Next is hypothesis. In this section, we will determine whether our hypothesis is accepted or not based on the result we get from the SPSS. Our hypothesis is there is a significant relationship between a family support and mental health among students. So, the result of this study is the hypothesis was accepted because the p-value of hypothesis is below 0.05.
The findings show in the previous chapter that there is a relationship between family support and also mental health. The p-value in this study is 0.00. There is strong evidence that there is the relationship between family support and mental health because it shows a good against the null hypothesis since the null correct with the less than 5%. The previous study that showed p-value 0.000 is made by Hyun, Pyong Dong and also Jai Tai-soo in their research. It shows that there is a positive relationship between independent variable and also dependent variable.
It can be concluded that in this review, the results are consistent with the previous study. Moreover, all the hypothesis results are indicated as acceptable because the independent variable, which is family support, have direct relationship with the dependent variable, which is mental health. Plus, the objective of the research were accomplished by showing that the findings demonstrate that family support does influence mental health condition among students. It can be concluded that this study has been conducted in order to explain the relationship between family support and mental health problem among students. The shortage of family support will contribute to mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety that will affect the study outcomes of the student. The research would reveal that family need to play their position as the key support for keeping the child positive and engaged.
There are some limitations of this study. First is the study only used one independent variable. It might result in poor or non-variable outcome. This is because family support is not the only factors that could affect one's mental health, but also driven by other factors such as financial and social. Next, this study only took respondents from UTM campus Bandaraya Melaka only, and it cannot represent the whole mental health of students in Malaysia. Moreover, the amount of respondents is not strong enough for sampling. In order to get a better result, respondents should be more than 100. In this study, we managed to get only 81 respondents with the value of sampling of 66 to 70 only. Lastly, the result of this study might not be strong enough to compete with another research since it is conducted by beginners, students who are still in learning process. So, there might be some or several sections not included in this section that resulted in unreliable data or result. Lack of citation also can be found in this study, and the system used in this research also came from the beginners that might be not suitable for a big research scale in future.
Recommendations we would like to give to future researchers is firstly to do more studies about family support in the context of university students. It is because we find a lot of studies about family support but only to children. Secondly, we would like to future researchers to define more about family support that fits with the context of university students. Thirdly, the time to conduct research should be extended so that researchers able to get more accurate results and to ease the respondents to answer the questions without time limit. And lastly, we would like future researchers to do studies with more than one variable.